real short.
I can make it short if
Yeah.
you want.
You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
We'll go ahead and call this regular meeting of the Kingsville City Commission to order. It's Monday, October 27, 2014. All 5 commission members are present. We open our meetings with a pledge of allegiance. If you care to join us, please stand.
Father, we ask that you be here with us tonight and always. Help guide us in our thoughts and our words and our actions that we might make decisions that are for the betterment of this community, the state, and the nation. Amen.
Amen. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Next order of business is to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Garcia to approve the meeting, seconded by Commissioner Pena. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Garcia,
Yes.
Commissioner Luber,
Yes.
Commissioner Beckles,
Stay.
Commissioner Pena,
Yes.
Mayor Buhey.
Yes. The next item is a public hearing. It's 6:02. It is to consider introduction of an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance by changing the zoning map in reference to Lot 1, Brentwood subdivision known as 1106 North Armstrong from R3 multifamily residential to C2 retail district, amending the comprehensive plan to account for any deviation from the existing comprehensive plan. Applicant is Yolanda Zapata. Okay, this is a public hearing. Anybody that wants to speak about this all they have to do is come up to the podium, tell us who you are and where you live, and you have 5 minutes to talk about this subject. Yolanda, you want to speak about it?
Yolanda Zapata, 1923 Ready Drive, Kingsville, Texas. A fellow wants to rent a property from me across the street from the university, catty corner to the engineering building. And he has applied for rezoning. It's not residential, I mean, it's R3 right now, and he wants it commercial so that he can rent from me and put a little restaurant. Some of you may be familiar with it. It's Cafe 5 over here in the Frontier Center. And he caters to Middle Eastern students, and most of them don't have cars, so he wants to move up there closer to them. And the zoning board approved it and everything, and so we're hoping that you do the same.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yeah. Sure.
The planning department has a rezoning request for a vote of 0-0.
Oh, it was passed 5-0.
5-0?
Yes.
Okay, it's just written here as 0-0.
Correct, that was before the meeting was done.
Okay, I just needed that correction.
Sure.
I have a
Sure.
question. How many tables are going to be there, and is there going to be adequate parking for
Yeah,
the
that's-
size of the restaurant?
That's what I went over and
Yes.
looked at it, and that's going to be a real issue.
Yes, at the meeting, the applicant stated that you probably have 5 or 6 tables, and that would require at least 1 parking space per table according to the ordinance, and there'll be about 20 altogether, about 5 in front, 4 in front, and the remainder in the back. You can access it in the back alley.
Okay, so because there's a house there, but it's got other houses, are those going to stay? Is it all one unit, or, I went by there today. So there's plenty of parking
Front
on the property?
and, yes, front and back,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, that was something I was concerned about, because we've had this same issue in the past, where
Right.
we could say, okay, we'll change the zoning, but when it comes to getting your permits and from the city, you might have a hard time because you won't be able to get you won't have enough parking. Because it looks like a tight squeeze to me.
In front, but you can access it in the back, and that conversation came up.
You understand what we're saying, Yolanda?
Yes,
I mean, we could pass
I
it.
have estimated that 15 cars can go in the back and 5 in the front. That's 20.
And it
And
won't,
then I own the properties on both sides, so,
and it won't block, the alley won't be blocked?
no.
Okay. That might come up to an issue, so you may want to be aware of that, just to make sure there's no, if there's an alleyway.
I can put sign no parking in the alley, but the city's better at that. Maybe they might put some, I don't know.
Okay. Any
Yeah.
other questions? Yes.
I just feel that most of the clientele is going to be catered to this particular restaurant, or mostly students.
Yeah.
And those students do not have vehicles, the majority of them, so.
It'd be walking traffic.
Right,
Yeah.
it's going to be more like.
Yes.
Well, I would suspect eventually a lot of this property, if not all of it, down Armstrong is going to go into commercial development.
Correct.
It just makes sense.
Correct. It's just a transition time, but you're right.
Yeah.
I just had
Sure.
a thought, is the parking area going to be improved, resurfaced?
Whatever the city requires, the fellow that's wanting to rent this, he's ready to do whatever the city, the other panel, the other board already requested a fence between this building, this blue building, the second to the corner, and then the house on the corner. A privacy fence, and whatever the city needs, we still got to go with the city. And it doesn't seem to bother him about the budget. He's gone home with this thing. There's about 800 students down there in the engineering building that like this food, but they can't come over here, so he's in for the long run, for a 5-year lease with me. He's there to stay and spend whatever it takes.
I'd like to say, it's going to be walking distance to me, and I'm glad because the food's really good.
Yeah, most of those people, have you been to the Cafe Five?
Yeah, it's very good food, so that'll be nice.
He'll have the clientele, and probably 80-90% of it is walking.
Right, but you're still going to want your parking in case things
Yeah,
get,
for the city.
For growth.
stores, yeah. But it does have 20, that's what I have allotted for. And the overflow, I can redirect the overflow of parking to the next house if need be, because I do on that one too.
Okay.
And we'll make sure on the surface,
Okay.
whatever the requirement is.
Yeah, we have an ordinance that says it needs to be paved to suppress dust.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Anything else? If not, we'll go to reports from the commission. Oh, it's, what time did I open this up? 6:02? And I'm going to close it at 6:07. And with that, we'll go on to reports from commission and staff.
Mayor and Commission, I want to remind you specifically and our city employees that we have the tailgate this Saturday from 4:30 to 6:30, game time 7 o'clock. It's something that we hope our commission and our employees will attend. We're trying to make it a fun event, so if you can show up, we sure appreciate it. And then at some point, at your pleasure, I'd like Cynthia Martin to talk about or to present the Historic Resources Survey report. But if you want to
Sure.
let Courtney.
Let's go ahead.
Mayor and Commissioners, the Historic Resource Survey is now complete. It's been reviewed and accepted by the Texas Historical Commission and data for it onto the National Park Service for inclusion in the national database. And last week, we put a copy of this report and the cover letter in your boxes. So we had time to kind of review it. In addition to this documentation, there's also a 3-page survey report associated with each of the 1,090 properties that were surveyed. And they did look at every property, historic or not, historic district. So it's really some good data. The THC has been through it with a fine-tooth comb, and myself. So we know it's very good data. I didn't print out the 3,300 pages of documentation, which I'm sure Commissioner Limbert would appreciate. And there's also a GIS map of the historic district that will soon be posted to the city website. The primary use of this data will be to inform planning decisions on how to best protect, manage, and develop the city's built environment, built resources within this district. The 2008 master plan, when addressing community character, stated that residents articulated their desire to see the integrity of existing neighborhoods maintained and the development of more housing opportunities in the traditional neighborhoods. And they expressed their desire for the enhancement of the historic downtown area. So all this information will be very useful. You'll notice in the inventory, all of the properties are rated as to contributing or not contributing and to their priority, which means their amount of architectural integrity that each one has. So it's really a good guide for a historic development board, planning boards, anybody to say, okay, we have some resources that are there and worth investing in. I know that here in the commission chambers, we hear about the derelict properties, the abandoned, we hear about condemnations, but nobody really comes forward and talks about some of the good building stock that we have within the historic district. You know, and modest houses clear to grand. In fact, mostly are modest, but that doesn't mean that they're not good houses, but sturdy houses and worth reinvesting. You know, again, it's a matter of sustainability. Let's recycle what we have and maybe get rid of the ones that aren't so good. But again, all this information can guide that. We do have somebody, Dr. Greenspan from the university here has come by. He's been following this project, as has Dr. Hedquist and Mrs. Rex Rode, who is director of the South Texas Archives and one of our Historic Development Board members. They've all been following this project. And I'd like to say that the university did contribute valuable in-kind services, especially at the beginning. Two of the students that went around and did what they call the grunt work, the field work is the technical term. They going from door to door, photographing, filling out the survey forms with whatever observable information, and even putting all that data into the state's access database was a valuable learning experience for them. Two of our current GIS interns worked on this project. So it's really been very good for the city and for the university and their part. The history department, who's Dr. Greenspan, is the assistant professor of history at the university. Because of the history department's involvement in this project, that sparked discussions about adding a public history minor to the program. And actually, Dr. Greenspan informed me that the request to just do just that has gone to the provost, and they're waiting for. Also with Dr. Hedquist, who directed the students in the GIS mapping portion. That's been also a very beneficial relationship to establish, because he's working with the planning department, and they're planting trees and bushes with money that the university's got from a service learning grant and student help. In fact, there was a big article, there it is, planting bushes. See, this was last South Texas. So it's really been very well, and we appreciate the university for being open to this and other collaborations. We hope there's more in the future. So are there any questions, comments from the...
Sure, Doctor.
Yes.
I have one comment.
Yes.
Good job, everybody. I know you've been talking about this, we've been talking about it a long time. It's nice to see everything put together, so you have your historical foundation. Thank you.
Any comment? Dr. Greenspan, do you want to say anything, or do you have anything to add?
Oh, nothing other than that it was a very positive relationship that we had with the city. The students really benefited from it, and so we're looking forward down the road to whatever may come our way with our public history minor, which will hopefully come into effect. We'll probably have some students who will be interested in doing internships. So this will be part of their requirements for their minor. So Hopefully, they may be coming and looking around and seeing what kind of internships might be available in the city or in local areas. So I think this is kind of the beginning of perhaps, as they would say in Casablanca, a beautiful friendship.
Yes, and I did want to say one more thing about Ms. Rexroad. She has all the survey data is available electronically now at the South Texas Archives, thanks to Ms. Rexroad.
Good deal.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Well, I hope we do have some more projects like this. It's very positive. Courtney, you have anything?
Just a reminder, our next regularly scheduled meeting is 2 weeks from tonight on November the 10th. The deadline for agenda items is this Friday, the 31st at 5 p.m. The city will be co-hosting a downtown festival, which we've done for 7 or 8 years now, in the 200 and 300 blocks of Clayburgh Avenue this Friday from 4 until 5:45.
I have my costume.
Excellent. You can come help us pass out candies and informational brochures.
Kids won't get close to me.
As Commissioner Garcia had pointed out, we put out the agenda last Tuesday, which was the day prior to the P&Z meeting. So at the time, we had the rest of the body of the rezoning ordinance ready and had not obviously had the meeting to know yet what the vote would be. So Mary has an updated or a revised version of the ordinance for signing if it gets approved at our next regular meeting on November the 10th. But for informational purposes, the third whereas would read a majority of the Planning Commission by a 5-0 vote approved the requested rezone. That's all.
Any questions or comments? Anything from the commission?
I have one item after Al.
Go ahead.
I just wondered, do we have to accept this particular project in any way? To make it
No,
official?
no. Whatever comments you have, we'll be glad to, but it doesn't need formal acceptance.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was my concern.
Anything else, Diane?
I got to present a proclamation for Red Ribbon Week this morning, and I just want to give kudos to Rick Torres. Willie kept his speech nice and short, which was awesome, but Rick brought up synthetic marijuana to all those kids, and everybody else was talking about the stuff that everybody knows and expects, but I thought that was good for our benefit for the city of Kingsville and what's been going on and how many arrests there are and how important it is and how bad that stuff is. And it was very interesting this morning, and the kids are very, very loud in gyms, and it was great, all the enthusiasm. So, Mayor, thank you for not being able to show.
You're quite welcome. I really appreciate you filling in for me. Thank you.
That's good. I was introduced as you.
There you go.
But she quickly recovered from that. Went on to give a very good presentation.
Is Charlie still working with us? Charlie Cardenas? Is he still working with us?
Yeah, he's still with the city.
Oh, okay.
He's just out of town.
I knew you were going to talk about it.
I'm beginning still complaints about potholes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just wondering, yeah, we're concentrating on that.
Yeah, thank you for your notifying me, and I forward those on to him. I follow up, I try to follow up with him every Friday on those things, so that they don't slip through the cracks. But I'll make sure that we get back to him.
Appreciate it.
Or even better, fill the potholes.
Well, you can get a shovel and go out there.
Yeah, I could. It wouldn't be a very good job.
But at least they'll see somebody doing something.
Yeah, sure.
I have a question for Courtney.
Yes, sir.
Courtney, you may have the information or not, because I think we've been on this new ordinance at least over a month now on the texting and cell phone use.
Oh, yes, sir.
Do you know what the effects to date have been on that? Or?
don't have the total numbers, but I have seen several citations go through municipal court. Most of the offenses that I've seen that they've pled guilty, I've only had a handful, less than a dozen, that have pled not guilty and met with me. And most of the time when they show up and have pled not guilty, it's just because they claim they didn't know. And then I point out that we have 13 signs posted throughout the city at the various entrances. And then they generally change their plea and either plead guilty or plead no contest and do a deferral.
And I'm curious because I still see a lot of people using the cell phone.
$316 for the first conviction, and it goes up for a second.
And the second is,
I don't recall off the top of my head, and I don't want to misquote it.
but it's more than that.
It's more than $316, so
I think
it
it's fine.
should be a good deterrent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Mayor.
About a third of that goes to the state.
They're on the phone, Mayor.
Never mind.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I personally do not use my phone now when I drive.
No.
I caught you the other day. I caught you.
Yes, you did. And I appreciate that.
That's entrapment.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Thanks, Court, for you.
Yes, sir.
If not, we'll go to public comments, and this is an opportunity for anybody to come up to the podium and tell us who you are and where you live, and you have 3 minutes to talk about anything you want to talk about. Okay. Then we'll go on to our consent agenda.
I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented, Mayor.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Pecos to accept the consent agenda as presented, second by Commissioner Garcia. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Luber?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckles?
Yes.
Commissioner Peña?
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Higgins?
Yes, now we'll go on to our regular agenda. The first item is consider authorizing the purchase of a John Deere backhoe for the Water Construction Department via buy board as per staff recommendation.
Mayor, Commissioners, I will comment to Commissioner Pena that Leo called me today. I was on my way out to see Emilio, and I pulled over right away before I answered my phone because I was in the car, and the car, it's a little bit older, and it doesn't have the Bluetooth
Well,
capability.
that's why you ain't got no power steering.
So, and now on to the backhoe. This is a budgeted capital item for the Water Construction Department. It's very timely as the Komatsu has finally given up. The Komatsu's had electrical problems for a couple of years, and I think the engine finally blew, so it has absolutely no trade-in value. But we got buy-board quotes on John Deere 310 and also the Case 580. Best price was $81,314.49 for the American-made John Deere 310K, which comes with a 24 and 18-inch bucket in the loader bucket and also a pair of forklift forks, primarily for use in loading and unloading the pipe. So we're not trying to turn around and put a sling on the bucket and pick up 20-foot joints of 18-inch pipe and swing them around. So we thought the forklift attachment would be a handy thing to have. So it is a capital item, and it is budgeted, so it will expend the $81,314.49 from 001054.
Okay. Any questions?
Yes, Mr. Mason, this is an outstanding purchase.
Actually, I think this is a great deal. I think we ought to get two at this price, sir, but yeah.
Yeah, we have the money in the budget. Then we'll go with one.
Get it done now.
One it is, sir.
Thank you for your editorial comment.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
How long was the Komatsu backhoe in service
Not very long.
before it blew everything?
I think we've been having trouble with that one since I've been here, and it's been 4 years. Komatsu never, they no longer make backhoes, and I haven't researched it completely, but I have a funny feeling that they didn't really make that one either. They probably bought it from somewhere else and rebadged it as a Komatsu. They're better known for excavators than backhoes. And as in many car lines, you know, if you want the Volkswagen Routan, the minivan, it's a Chrysler. They just rebadge it. And I have a feeling that that's what Komatsu had done to, as a market entry to see if they did have a market for backhoes. I'm not sure of that, but that's my guess. And, the electronic boards weren't very good at all, and so. Now this one, it may have some salvage value at auction. You know, the bucket's still good. The rear end or transmission may be usable for someone else who has this particular model, but it has no value as a trade-in. Neither one of the vendors would offer a trade-in price.
Again, you don't know how old it was?
I think we had it before we had the Terex, or approximately the same age, and we've gotten rid of all of those as well.
So how long is that?
I had no idea.
So I guess the answer is no, we don't know how old it is.
5 years?
But we can get that for you.
More than 5 years?
I've been here 4, yeah, and it's been having problems all those 4 years. So
All right.
So this person did not happen in your watch?
I didn't know.
Okay.
It was BMT, sir.
All right.
I make a motion that we purchase the John Deere backhoe.
Second?
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Luber to authorize this purchase, second by Commissioner Pecos. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Beckles?
Yes.
Commissioner Peña?
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia?
Yes.
Commissioner Luber?
Yes.
Mayor Pete?
Yes. Next, consider awarding bid for commercial base limestone to be purchased as needed for the street department as per staff recommendation.
We have advertised for CO bids on September 28th and October 5th. Proposals were accepted until 1:30 on October the 14th. Only one potential vendor responded, Vulcan Materials, that it actually is where we're currently purchasing our limestone for base. And therefore, it's recommended that the contract be awarded to Vulcan Materials at their bid price of $23 per ton delivered and $15.50 per ton picked up at the plant. Our current price that we're paying to Vulcan right now is $22.70 per ton. So it's a very slight price increase. And this actually, you know, we will not expend any money, but we do plan to spend more than $50,000 in local government code 252 and 271 require the bidding on such items.
Okay. Any questions about this?
So moved.
Second?
Say, Commissioner Peña, motion to accept this bid, seconded by both Commissioner Luber and Commissioner Pecos. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Peña?
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia?
Yes.
Commissioner Luber?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckles?
Yes.
Mayor Pete?
Yes. Next item is consider introduction of an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance by changing the zoning map in reference to Lot 1, Brentwood subdivision known as 1106 North Armstrong, from R3 multifamily residential district to C2 retail district, amending the comprehensive plan to account for any deviation from the existing comprehensive plan. Okay, that's an introduction item. Does anybody else have anything else on this? Well, if something comes up, it'll be on our first meeting in November. Next item is a consider resolution establishing the City of Kingsville investment policy and investment strategies to designate the city manager, director of finance, and city accounting manager as authorized city representatives with full authority for investment purposes and providing for disclosure of financial interests. That's kind of a housekeeping.
It's housekeeping, we're just changing the names from position changes, and so basically all we're doing.
Anybody have any questions?
So moved.
Second?
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Peña to approve this, adopt this resolution, seconded by Commissioner Pecos. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Garcia?
Yes.
Commissioner Luber?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckles?
Yes.
Commissioner Peña?
Yes.
Mayor Pete?
Yes, with that, that's all the business we have in the city tonight. We are adjourned.